Well,
Yeah.
here's another sticky one. That
Yeah.
the situation with your oldest son,
Yeah.
and his previous criminal history, and
Yeah.
his conviction as as a sexual offender against children. That's
Right.
That's a pretty big red flag, and I asked you about that the first time we spoke.
Yeah. Well, let me elaborate if you don't mind.
Sure.
Okay, if here in Tennessee, say for instance, your boy or one of your kids, is 17, and the one he's with, say he's 18 and she's 17 or something like that. Okay, in other states, especially like Utah, you're probably not going to ever get out of prison. But here in Tennessee, they look at there's got to be so many years difference between them.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, but in Arkansas, where he was arrested, they don't care about that. But here in Tennessee, he would have never went to jail, and he would have got to raise his boy, and everything probably would have been fine. But in Arkansas, total different story. There's got to be a certain amount of years between them, and there was only 18 months, maybe a year, I don't know, between them.
Oh, was that a situation like she was like 16 or 17, and he was
like 18 or 19, and she was, it was only like 18 months difference.
Wow. Okay.
Yes, sir.
That charge
had a baby.
Look a lot worse then.
Yes, it does, and it's wrong. It is wrong. There's a lot of, yes, absolutely.
Okay. Well, see,
I'll even have him call you if you want me to, and he could probably explain it better to you.
Well, he's
a good kid.
When we spoke the first time, you said that you talked
to him. Yeah.
You said that you talked to him and that he was in Utah when this all happened.
No, they was in Arkansas.
Oh, he was in Arkansas when this all happened.
Yes, sir, and he done time in Arkansas State Prison.
Okay.
Yes.
No, when Summer went missing. When Summer went
Oh,
missing.
yeah, he's in Utah. Yes, sir.
Okay. So I think the police have already alluded to this, but there's no connection between him and what happened with Summer.
No way he would ever even think of something like this. When I first told him, he bawled like a little baby. My sisters all cried, and there's so many good Christian folks around here I didn't even realize till this happened.
Mm-hmm.
So we heard what Don said, and of course, I had to look it up. And I don't see anything about there being a problem if there was just an 18-month window between the pedophile and the young girl. It specifically says a person commits sexual indecency with a child if, being 18 years of age or older, the person solicits another person who is less than 15 years of age or who is represented to be less than 15 years of age to engage in, of course, sexual intercourse, deviate sexual activity, or sexual contact. A lot of more information here, but to a person who is less than 15 years of age. And I'm going to scroll on down. I'm going to share this so you can look at it as well. But for now, follow me. The next to last line says being 18 years of age or older, the person causes or coerces another person who is less than 14 years of age to expose his or her sex organs or the breast of a female with the purpose to arouse or gratify a sexual desire of himself, herself, or another person. So he had to be at least 18. They had to be under 14 or 15 to get this charge right here. This one right here, which you can clearly see in the previous audio video where Jeff has his sex offender registration up on the screen. And it shows the charge: sexual indecency with a child. No ifs, ands, buts, or ums, Donald. You lied again, and your brother is a pedophile. 100%. Might not be the worst person on earth, but he's not a good kid. This is not a good kid that would do this. Be accountable. Stop talking or start talking. One of the two. Stop lying. Now I'm wondering about your brother again. I don't know, y'all. This is the Arkansas law that he was just talking about. I'll look for your thoughts in the comments. Inherited behaviors are behaviors that are passed down genetically. Our genes control things like our hair type and our color, our eye color, and our height. But we don't usually think of them controlling our behavior. These are our inherited behaviors. So the reason for this video is to just highlight more of what little Summer Wells grew up around, because they say we're a product of our environment and we can have inherited behaviors and things like that. So I just wanted to highlight the fact that not only on Summer's dad's side of the family is there pedophilia or sex offenders, but also, unfortunately, on Mom's side as well. The person we're referring to is the brother of Candy, also known as Grandma Herrera, Candace, and a few other things. But she's Grandma. My common denominator. She's also missing in action as far as I'm concerned because she's trucked it back to Wisconsin. In either case, this is not about her. This is about her brother, Candace's direct uncle. This man is Warren Scott Herrera. This is in regards to his criminal past. One or more charges in this case, Warren Scott Herrera was found guilty by reason of mental disease or defect. The defendant was found guilty of actually committing the crime charged, but was also found not to be legally responsible under Wisconsin Stats 971.165 for committing the crimes because of the defendant's mental condition. The legal effect of a finding of not guilty by reason of mental disease or defect is that the court must commit the defendant to the custody of the Department of Health and Family Services. This is Warren Scott Herrera. I'll point out what I've pointed out before in my lives, that he looks eerily similar to Rose Marie Bly. That might make a little sense when you hear the rest of the charges. I have seen people in the comments that go, oh yeah, I look like my uncle. And so I won't take that from you. I'm not saying you can't look like your uncle. I'm just saying Rose Marie Bly looks eerily similar to her uncle. And I'll leave it at that for now. At the time of this, which was last confirmed in April of 21, he was 63 years old. Male, white, 6'3", 220 pounds, blue eyes, blonde or strawberry hair color. This is Warren Scott Herrera. First charge I have here was July 9th, 1984 in Wisconsin, and it is for first-degree sexual assault. 10 years later, also in Wisconsin, clearly he was a free man again. He has another charge, or I should say case, listed here. The offense, not guilty by reason of mental disease. So let's look at 1994 case. And what exactly did he get off on? There are 8 charges on this case. Count 1, incest with a child, felony C. He pleaded no contest. The action was guilty, but not guilty due to mental disease or defect. Charges 2 and 3, incest with child, felony C. He pleaded no contest. The action was guilty, but not guilty due to mental disease or defect. Counts 3 and 4. Nothing changes. More incest with a child, felony C. Guilty, but not guilty due to mental disease or defect. Counts 5 and 6. More incest with a child. Count 7 and the final count 8. Incest with a child. Felony C. No contest. Guilty, but not guilty due to mental disease or defect. So, dear old Uncle Herrera is a registered sex offender. He is compliant, which means that he is checking in. This was verified as of April 28, 2021. And a lot of people were asking, okay, well, is he still locked up? What's going on? Well, I'll tell you this. According to Cops in Courts, September 30th, 2009, by way of my wonderful subscriber, Jay Gunderson, and also a super shout out to Aubrey, one of the greatest moderators ever, for getting all this information over to me. But was he locked up? Well, not the whole time. Because as you can see here, Warren Scott Herrera of Madison, was once again caught up. First-degree sexual assault, sexual contact, this time with a person under the age of 13. So, this man, just like the rest of the Wells' side of the family, I guess, and the Herrera side, nobody takes accountability in this family. How does this happen on both ends of the spectrum? This is what I was asking in my live. Where the hell did they meet? You got Donald Wells, the sex offender. Then you've got his son, Donald Wells, the sex offender. And then you've got Uncle on the other side, the sex offender. This is just all we know of. And I'm beginning to believe my theory even more about Grandma Herrera being some sort of manipulator and having some sort of control, abusive control over Candace. And also being one of my prime suspects in the case of our missing baby girl, Summer Wells. Those are just my thoughts. But what I've just shown you, these are facts. These are the type of people this baby has been raised around. These are the people that were in her life. Where is he now? I don't know. Could he have made his way through that damn dog trail? Absolutely, in my opinion. If he knew the area, because we're thinking it's somebody close to them. And if I have to think outside of mom and dad and grandma, this is where my mind goes. Him. Of course, we got the mysterious Jose. We've got Chris Marcos. I mean, there's other names we can call. I don't think they hold much weight. But this just proves whether or not they had a million sex offenders living in their area and Candace didn't know about it. They knew they had them right there in your family. I don't know how close Summer was to this man, but damn it, his sister is her grandmother. And if we're talking about inherited behavior and being a product of our environment, we got to talk about this. So I'll see y'all in the comments. Beautiful people. What are your thoughts? I know you got them. Save Summer Wells. Justice for Summer Wells. Hello, beautiful people. This is going to be a pretty quick video. I'm just going to share. I thought I did this. I swear I did, but I guess I've looked into so many criminal histories. I just don't know what happened. But I've talked about this on a couple of the platforms that I've visited, and I'm just going to share a little bit of paperwork. So yeah, we can kind of get on into it. Let me see. in the spirit of, John Wales letting us know that he turned his life around, I wanted to know who he used to be, allegedly used to be. And so this is where we're going this evening. I just have gone to a few states because your boy got around. Okay, so we have the state of Florida right here. And it was in the 90s, dispositioned in 2000. And let's see here. Oh, there it is. Okay, that's what I was looking for. You guys probably already saw it. There it is. Your boy, Lil Handsy. That's battery, a first-degree misdemeanor. Okay, in Florida. I didn't even know he had been to Florida until I got in there. He didn't mention that. I guess he was just there for a little while or something. Don't know. But that is his record in Florida. And now we'll go on down to Texas. Good old Texas, where it's going all the way down right now. And we had a little burglary with intended theft, intent to theft, I guess they're saying. Either way, broke in and tried to steal something. It was in the 80s. Remember, we're looking at who he was, who this was, and this happened. And there are a couple of records that, like in Utah, you have to request. But I have the charge. I just can't access inside the record. So I'll tell you about those. But first, let's finish looking at those. We had a little trouble, a little more trouble in Texas over in Dallas. And we evaded arrest and resisted arrest. This is Dallas. Make sure, I think that's. And then I'm gonna, okay, I'm gonna share the ones that I have. Here. One more. Did I grab the same one? Cute. Where'd it go? Oh, that's just. Let me see. I grabbed the same one. So we need. Okay, that one's gonna be weird because. Let me see. I don't want to lose anything. There we go. Okay. All right. So we need to make this bigger. All right. Oh, if you don't trying to take over, trying to bring you down and over, and we can just bring you down a little, and we can move you here, so we can see all of this kind of who he was so far. And the ones that I can't get to over in Utah, they do it a little different. requested, and we don't want to wait for the writing, so I'm just going to tell you what I can see. And I'm on my phone, so right now you're just looking at the burglary with intent theft. You're looking at battery, evading arrest, and resisting arrest on the screen. Okay, along with that, we have, bear with me, I'm scrolling so I don't repeat what we're looking at already. Okay, got that one. Oh, yes, that's evading arrest. Okay, we got battery. Yep, we got that one. There we go. Another burglary. Um, Another burglary. This was in Arkansas. So that's two more burglaries. I want to make sure I'm clear on that. That's a total now of 3 burglaries. There was, where's this at? Also in Arkansas, possession of a controlled substance without prescription. Third offense, and it's a Class C felony. Okay, scrolling again. Hillsborough. Okay, that's the weird. Wait a minute. Let me back it up. Hold on, I want to make sure I get it right. Let's see. Oh, okay. So we already had a battery. There is a second battery. There is a second battery in Hillsborough. Let's see, this is Utah. More theft. More burglary. More theft. More theft. A lot of theft. Contempt and failure to pay fines and costs. Well, I mean, anyway, that's who he was. So, has he changed?
Your camera is ready for setup. Follow the instructions in the SimpliSafe app to get started.
Sorry. Has he changed? Theft, battery, burglary, burglary with theft, evading arrest, resisting arrest. I mean, it's just hard for me to trust him. This is what I saw, and this is what I see. Has he changed? I pray to God he has. A lot of these, well, the last one was disposition in the thousands. The ones in Utah, I can't say when.
Your camera is ready for setup.
Jeez Louise.
Follow the instructions in the SimpliSafe
I'm
app
so
to get
sorry.
started.
I need to go and set that up. Huh? Doing some moving. But anyway, I was saying, God, I hope so. So I really do. I hope he grew out of all this. Because, I mean, when I say a lot of theft, there's a lot of theft. Like, he and that's not, of course, murder, but we're just looking at who he was. you have it. Basically, battery, burglary, running from the cops. I definitely think he knows how to handle himself when he's dealing with law. At least he thinks he does. What to say, how to move. He's had a lot of run-ins. I do hope he has changed. So, in an effort to point out how this baby was surrounded by nothing but people who made bad choices, of course, we had to look into her mother. And I did this in week one, to be honest. We just talk more about Dawn than anything, but let me tell you something. Candace is not in the clear. Absolutely not. And that's just because I don't think she should be, first of all. Second of all, because look here, they're all a little handsy. This is why I never jumped on the bandwagon of her being a victim, even though she may be to a certain extent. I believe she also became an offender at some point, and that happens regularly, unfortunately. Not always, but in either case, this family is handsy. They're either copping a feel or taking a swing. It's what they do, okay? So Candace R. Bly, that would be Candace Rose Bly, Summer's mother, was found guilty of battery, a Class A misdemeanor in Wisconsin. There is also a charge here for drug paraphernalia, possession of drug paraphernalia. Moving right along, and in no particular order currently, Candace Rose Bly was found guilty of disorderly conduct, a Class B misdemeanor, Wisconsin statutes. When we open it up, we can see all the counts. Count 1, disorderly conduct, guilty, no contest, no accountability again. Count 2, intentionally point firearm at person, misdemeanor. 3, intentionally point firearm at person, misdemeanor. 4, resisting or obstructing an officer, misdemeanor. All A misdemeanors. Those last 3, all dismissed on prosecutor's motion. What? Intentionally point a firearm, resisting arrest, and dismissed? That doesn't even work. These people have gotten off the hook every single time. As you can see, I'm skipping the child support order, but it exists. And the most recent, as of 9/9/2003, disorderly conduct. The modifiers, domestic abuse, a Class B misdemeanor. Disorderly conduct and domestic abuse. Guilty, no contest. 0 accountability. There was a bench warrant that went out for her in this case. Like she paid her $77 and it was all good. But you see, it's not all good. Not when your daughter comes up missing. And it sucks really bad because every which way we turn, there's a possible suspect, a culprit. Everywhere you turn in this baby's life, there's a possible suspect. And everyone is a suspect. or person of interest, however you want to call it. Just like the sheriff said, this is Mommy Dearest. Mama, Daddy, Uncle, Great Uncle. It was literally all bad in that baby's life. I pray to God somebody did rescue her. I wish that could be the ending to this story. It's not what I really believe happened because it never happens, right? But I hope and I pray. But if someone didn't kidnap her to rescue her, this family is full of suspects. And that's really that. I'll see you in the comments, beautiful people.